Hi there, it's Carolyn Ellis from Brilliance Mastery, and I've created this short video presentation to answer this question, which I get a lot. Why doodle? So why would anybody want to doodle? And if you were doodling, what could you use it for? So I could talk for days about this, but I just wanted to highlight a few key points for you here. So the first thing is whether or not you consider yourself to be somebody who is visual or a visual learner. It doesn't matter. Visual is memorable. And actually it's a physiological fact. Our brain has, I think something like over 60% of its neurons are actually dedicated to visual processing functions. So we naturally think in pictures. And when you apply pictures and even colors or shapes, connecting arrows to your ideas when you are doodling, you are activating, you're naturally working into that visual architecture that's already part of your brain. So visual is memorable. The other thing that's amazing about doodling is it's a way of thinking and explaining and working your ideas and learning as a student of life in a way that engages all of your senses. So you're seeing something while you're hearing something. You are kinesthetically activating because you're drawing it, or you're witnessing somebody drawing it with their hands. So all of these things get triggered at the same time. So the more senses that get involved, the more it makes that information stick. This is one of the reasons why doodling is shown to actually help improve the ability to retain and recall information by as much as 29%. That is pretty cool in a day and age where we are just surrounded by information and we have a hard time remembering our own phone numbers, let alone what's that great idea that we wanted to tell somebody about. The third thing that's really powerful with doodling is that it actually engages both the left side and the right side of your brain at the same time. So your analytical part of you starts to dance with the creative and visionary part of your brain. So it's a very integrated whole brain approach. So you get very engaged. And as a result of this, not only does the knowledge and the ability to pull on that information and do something interesting with it happen because it's just so wired up into your brain, but it also helps you to start to see different perspectives that you might not have seen otherwise. The fourth thing I love about doodling is in a world where we are literally, as I was saying, surrounded by more information, more facts, more choices, more possibilities, more options than we can even know how to make sense of. We literally cannot make sense of it. Doodling forces you to slow down. You can't take notes verbatim, which is something I used to do when I would bring my laptop into a workshop. I would think I'd get all the information because I got all the words, but I wasn't taking the time to make meaning. So when you're doodling, you get to make conscious choices all the time. What color am I going to use? What's the key point here? How is this relevant for me? Is this idea connected to that? Well, then let me draw that out. So you are making meaning in the moment. And that is what helps to fuse and really allows you to synergize and build off of the information that you're working with. So that's why I've drawn it as a little umbrella in a torrential downpour of information overload. Doodling allows you that space, that gap in time to access not just other people's wisdom, but to tune in and tap in and extract the wisdom that you have inside of you. So once you're doing that with your doodling, hey, it's so cool because you can communicate people in a whole different way. Communicating your ideas, making plans together. Often in a verbal conversation, a lot of our disagreement comes because we actually think we're talking about the same thing, we're using the same words, but our perspectives are different. We don't understand each person's point of view, but when you draw it out, people literally see what you mean. And it helps to build towards a more constructive resolution and harnessing the brain power of both of you than if you are just verbally, debating back and forth and just misunderstanding each other. So doodling is a powerful way to communicate your ideas and get people on board with the directions that you want to go in. And the other thing I really love, and I have just seen this happen so many times since I started working with people visually, is there's literally no limit to what you can do once you start to draw out your ideas and start doodling. So it is multi-purpose. It can be used in any kind of situation. So whether you are a creative person, you want to write that play, write that book, you can use doodling to help you develop your story, to look at your characters, to look at issues. If you're a small business owner, wouldn't it be great to explain to your clients, here's the unique journey that you get to work with me on as I help you to solve your problem, and here's a map that I've drawn for you that shows that. What about in a larger organization where you're working in teams and groups of people? So clearly, when I work with companies for strategic planning purposes, facilitating large group conversations about team performance, or how do we solve this problem? How do we stay competitive and relevant in our market? Being able to draw these conversations out in large groups is really a powerful way to not just get everybody on the same page and get the buy-in that you need, but it also provides a really powerful implementation tool because it shows you what did you commit to doing, and you can track that and be accountable for your conversation because you see it hanging there. So there you have it. Some of my answers to why Doodle. If you'd like to learn more about the work that I do or to find out when my next Learn to Doodle workshop is scheduled, please visit my website at brilliancemastery.com.